Happy Valley Adventure Bureau announcement. We will be using the raised hand feature, so utilize that, and we'll call on you and go through our list. We're going to start with an opening statement from each of our guests at the dais. Our guests are Fritz Smith, the president and CEO of the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau, Joe Batista, the former Icers hockey coach, author and motivational speaker, and also an HVAB board member, as well as Scott Sidwell, the deputy athletic director at Penn State. So we'll turn it over to Fritz, and then we'll have Joe and then Scott make some comments. Fritz?
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks to those of you who stuck around after Coach's press conference. Appreciate your patience, and for those who have just joined, thanks, and thanks for everyone who had joined us at our luncheon today in the Letterman's Lounge. Appreciate your company. So today is about a big announcement. It's a big day, we think, for Centre County, for Happy Valley. We are announcing the formation of a Sports and Entertainment Commission. And I think that the theme here, there are two themes that I'd like to emphasize. One is thinking big, and the second is partnerships. It's the power of partnerships. We're sitting here in the second largest stadium in the United States of America, fourth largest in the world. And it has always struck me that the very presence of this facility means that we need to stretch and we need to think big and we need to have a vision for what we can be here in terms of sports and entertainment in Centre County. We believe that the time has come. We've been behind in forming a sports commission. So the question is, why now? We've let people get a little bit of a lead on us. There are over 300 sports commissions in the United States of America today. There are 15 in Pennsylvania. There are 9 in the 14 Big Ten cities. So when we look at the sports legacy that we have here in Centre County, we believe it's past time. You know, not only do we have an incredible football program here, but look at the success that the men's and women's soccer teams are having this year as they march into the playoffs, into the NCAA playoffs. Exciting new men's and women's basketball programs that are being turned around. But let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that have occurred. Let's talk about some of the private sector investment that's occurred in this community. We have here Michael Lee, one of the principals of the Nittany Valley Sports Center. The folks at the C3 Church built a sports facility. Centre County Parks and Recreation Department is building new softball and baseball fields, outdoor ballpark that are gonna help us attract new events. We've always attracted events here to Centre County. We've always had a robust effort, but this is about escalating the effort, taking it to another level, to a bigger level. We have 7 Saturdays a year roughly, where we have 100,000 people in the stands. But what would the economic impact be? What would it mean for job growth if we could replicate that multiple times, 10 times, 12 times more per year, and not just with athletic events, with great fairs and festivals and musical events. We've got the State Theater, we've got the Bryce Jordan Center. We've got here with us today Todd Wagner from Happy Valley Music Fest. We have the ability to grow that event and turn it into a must-attend event in the United States of America. And so we think that the opportunity is here. The opportunity to partner the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau, which is the official tourism promotion agency for Centre County, has long partnered with Penn State, but we need to strengthen that relationship. And that's part of what we're here for today, is to show what we can do together, the power of what we can do together, not only us, but the private sector and other partners here in the community. I'd like to call out a couple of members of my board who are here. Our executive committee is here. Tom Neely, general manager of the Nittany Lion Inn. Edward Tubbs from Hospitality Asset Management Corporation. Jennifer Corman, the treasurer of our organization with Fullington Bus. And Scott Walker from the Spikes. Talk about the Spikes. Sports. I mean, we saved the Spikes last year. This community pulled together and rallied and saved the Spikes. And what a crowning testament that was to the importance, the value that we place on sports in this community. But as I was preparing my remarks today, I thought about our executive committee, and I thought about their ties to sports. You know, I think of Edward as a hotelier. I think of Tom Neely as a hotelier. I think of Jennifer as a lady who runs a bus company. And I think of the sports tie with Scott is obvious. But Edward and Tom's hotels house people who come here to football games and other sporting events. They serve those guests on a daily basis. Jennifer Corman from Fullington provides transportation for the football games. So much of what we do here in this community ties back to sports. And this is just a way to elevate it. It's a way to extend the profile. And I'd like to introduce two other people or reference them. Dave Gertis, our VP of Sales and Marketing, and Danielle Vincenti, our Sports Sales Manager, are both here, and they're going to play a major role in the work that actually gets done on this commission. So I've talked about the why of now, and just want to talk a little bit about some of the details. We have announced the chairman and the vice chairman of this organization. Joe Batista, who needs no introduction, has accepted the chairmanship of the organization, and Scott Sidwell, Deputy Athletic Director, External, has accepted the vice chair. So with that start, we feel that we've really put a stake in the ground and that we have sent a signal to the entire community and to our competitors, quite frankly, that we're serious about this. And this is going to be a great endeavor. And Joe, I am delighted that you accepted the chairmanship of this initiative, and I can't wait to work with you and Scott. In terms of next steps, we have commissioned an organization called the Huddle Up Group, which has given strategic advice to over 100 of those 300 some sports commissions in the country about the structure. So beyond the chairmanship and the vice chairmanship, we're not announcing other seats today. That analysis will take about 5 months, and then we'll come back to you with their recommendations about the structure. And then we're going to commission a firm to provide an economic impact analysis of all sports and how they impact Center County. All of Penn State's athletic programs, the impact of the Spikes, the impact of the Tussey Mountain back race, the gravel grit grinder. We've got all these great bike races and marathons and events that take place in Center County. What's the economic impact of all of it? And that will serve as the baseline, and then our goal is to grow it. So with that, I'll turn it over to our friend, Joe Batista, and let's hear about his vision.
Thanks, Fritz. I am honored to be able to be a part of this. I've lived in the community since 1978. The friends that we've made here over the years, the events that we've been able to participate in, whether it was sports or entertainment, that's what makes this place so special. Very proud to have been able to raise a family here in Center County. My children are all Penn Staters. My wife's Penn State grad, so to be able to give back through the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau has been a dream come true. And what this Sports Entertainment Commission, it's so exciting, the energy and the passion that we all have toward this, it's going to be infectious. And I think that we're going to be we're already doing awesome things here, but we're going to take it to a whole nother level. That's the goal. And really looking forward to working with Fritz and Scott and Dave and Danielle. And I've already been in touch with several other sports commissions in Big Ten towns, but also areas that are, population is more like ours, to see what we can do and where we should be focusing. Looking forward to working with the folks at Huddle Up to find out where we should put our priorities. So there's a lot of great things to happen. And as Fritz mentioned, why now? Well, I think if COVID has taught us anything, it's that we've got to work together, right? This area, survived and thrived in many ways because of partnerships, because we were willing to pulled together as a community, and I think that that's even going to take us one step higher in the future as we partner. My experience, both as a coach, where I ran Penn State summer hockey camps for 25 years, and then being a facilities coordinator at Penn State with both the old Greenberg ice rink and then East Area locker room and eventually Pagula Ice Arena, I got to see firsthand what it takes to coordinate these kinds of efforts. And while there's been efforts in the past, and I really applaud the people that try to do it, there was never a formal type of organization like we're going to have now, and that cooperation and collaboration and in some cases compromise to be able to really maximize what we can do for the community. And it's not just about the economic impact. I think about all the different things we're going to be able to do for youth in the state, in the region, and the things we'll be able to do nationally, the types of events we're going to be able to attract here. It's an exciting time, and I'm just very, very proud to be able to be a part of it and honored to work with this group, and let's go get them.
Thank you, Joe, and Fritz, for your comments. Certainly welcome everyone on behalf of Penn State Athletics. Really excited to be a part of this venture here with the Sports and Entertainment Commission. Thinking about the 275 events that we put on annually this past week, in athletics alone, we had 6 events, most of them versus Michigan. But we did, host a Big Ten championship. We're hosting NCAA events, looking, forward to the future. How do we all work together? I think partnership is the theme as we grow. I look at Scott Walker in the back with the spikes and how we utilize that partnership moving forward. I just couldn't be more excited. We couldn't be more excited as a university to think big and to think about our future and to think about where we're headed and how we can attract events using our facilities and facilities here in the region. The partnerships that we have, as Joe mentioned during COVID, our ability to go over to the center to spread out and have our teams use that, to think about what we did a few years ago with State High playing a high school football game here. We want to be the premier destination for sports and entertainment in this community. We already host a number of concerts in the BJC, do a wonderful job there, Eisenhower Auditorium, thinking about all of those assets and resources that we have, being able to collectively now go market those together and thinking about how that can come together for us and really excited about the opportunity. So this is a great day, I think, for our region, certainly a great day for Penn State and Penn State Athletics, and just proud to be a part of it.
Thank you very much, everybody. We will open it up to questions now. Again, use the raise your hand feature, and we will call on you as we have questions funnel in. We'll start with Mark Wogenrich. And Mark, if you can introduce yourself and let everybody know your outlet as well, please.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, Mark Wogenrich from the Penn State site at si.com. This is for everybody, all three of you. What is Beaver Stadium's role with the Sports and Entertainment Commission? And what kind of infrastructure will it require to become a year-round destination?
I think they're calling you, Scott.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if you take a big step back and you think about Beaver Stadium, I point to this past September 18th with the whiteout, which has become the marquee event in college sports and really all of sports. On that day, as we've done some research, certainly in the United States, but quite possibly in the world, that was the largest in-person event in the world that day. Now we'll have to do some research on what was happening around us, but certainly from what we know from attendance records, that's a big deal. I think we can capitalize on that as we look at the future of what we can do here. We have opportunities to do all kinds of events. We've had a concert here in 2018. We're looking at that opportunity. We've had some early discussions with the folks at Topgolf to potentially bring Topgolf to the region sometime in the summer. And then as you look at all the opportunities to utilize the playing surface, one thing to note is we have a world-class turf management program here. They do a wonderful job of setting the fields up and doing those types of things. Last year we were able to, because of COVID, host graduation outside in the first time in many, many years. And we were able to turn that field around and get it ready. So as we look at the infrastructure and as we look at the opportunity to grow here, those are the things that we're starting to explore and working with these folks and working with our hoteliers to see what times of year we can actually bring those events here to Center County. So we're excited about those opportunities, and certainly Beaver Stadium sits right at the center of that.
We'll go to Kyle Andrews.
Hi, everyone. I had a question about just the possibility of maybe, I know this has been discussed in the past, but, maybe the stadium series or a, Winter Classic happening at Beaver Stadium as well, or, possibly even hosting a soccer friendly or things like that.
So I guess that's me again. Yeah. So, we've explored the Winter Classic. Certainly, the what has to happen to bring in the chillers to get the ice ready to do that. Obviously, it's hit or miss. Around the first of the year, whether you're going to be 50 degrees or you're going to be 5 degrees here in State College. But there's a significant expense to that, and we're going to continue to try to find ways to make that happen. We would love to host that event. Probably going to take some collaboration of the Sports Commission to come together to see how we might drive some resources from the local community to help make that an economic engine at a time of year that we don't necessarily have that. So I think as we think about that and a lot of other opportunities, currently the soccer wouldn't fit right now in the Beaver Stadium configuration, but we're looking to try to see if there are other opportunities that we could have events in there that might also attract a number of people to the region.
Audrey Snyder and then Matt Swenson.
Hi, Scott. Another question for you. Audrey Snyder with The Athletic. I'm curious what your timeline is on this, because obviously Beaver Stadium, the potential renovations are kind of been going on in the background here for a while. How could that impact what you all want to do with the stadium?
Well, as you know, annually we undertake a major maintenance review of all the things that we need to do to continue to operate the stadium in the way that it currently exists. And as we look out, we did announce that there was a Beaver Stadium study ongoing following the 2017 master plan. And so, as we look at these things and we look at opportunities, we're constantly trying to evaluate the more we can do and see how that fits inside of the structure of the stadium, but also within the calendar. We have to be cognizant of that it's, we got to get it ready to play. We certainly, as we look at the springtime and we have the annual blue-white game, which in and of itself is a great weekend for here in Center County. So I think as we look to try to place these things in there, we have to think about a lot of different things, and how do we continue to get the stadium ready to be in its current state, and then how do we look at it moving forward?
Again, just a reminder to use the raise your hand feature to ask a question, and we'll go to Matt Swenson.
Hi, thanks for taking this. I'm Matt Swenson with Connect Sports. This question's for Fritz. Sorry to break the trend there. But I know you touched on it a little bit, but can you elaborate a little bit more on the advantages of launching a separate commission outside of the Adventure Bureau? Because obviously you already had Danielle in there, who is a great industry veteran and has got great connections to bring in events, has already done a wonderful job. So why is it even necessary to do this, a whole other entity?
Sure. I think that a lot of our competitor destinations across the country have wrestled with the same question. What's the purpose of doing this, and how does it change, what your Convention and Visitors Bureau is already doing? We'll for starters, we'll wait for the Huddle Up group to come back and do their analysis and conduct interviews with the stakeholders here and come back with a recommendation. But I don't necessarily, I don't view this as disconnected from the CVB at all, regardless of what structure comes about. Certainly a popular one is that a Convention and Visitors Bureau like ours, which is usually structured as a 501c6 membership-based organization, may establish a separate 501c3, which enables it to raise money from the private sector and other and apply for grants and from government and foundations and so forth. But I think in terms of the work that will be done, Danielle and Dave Gertis will still be the point people for that effort. I don't envision a separate effort. They'll still work with Jen James and the great Penn State team here and try to uncover opportunities. So no, this will not be operating in some separate vacuum from our organization.
Any additional questions, please use the raise your hand feature. We'll go back to Audrey Snyder.
Sorry, couldn't find the unmute button. Given like the current state of Beaver Stadium, what's a realistic time frame for when you guys could host an event in there, like a concert, something like that? Because obviously you've done the concert before, but haven't gone back to it.
Well, as these things coming off the pandemic, I think, Audrey, to answer your question specifically, we're trying to get out ahead of that now. Those things are in a couple year cycle. We're actively pursuing, planning, trying to get ourselves in position to attract a big name to come to Beaver Stadium to have a concert. Hence, working with the group here, Sports and Entertainment. Don't want to underscore the entertainment piece. I think it's something that's a huge opportunity for our community, and we will continue to find ways to attract those big events here to Center County.
Any other questions for our panel? Going once, going twice. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today and our very exciting announcement. Appreciate your time, and thank you very much to our esteemed panel.